connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me, I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. You're trying to insinuate all these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info, in the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Rumorsi office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817 001 8162. That's 0817 001 8162.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me, I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. You're trying to insinuate all these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info, in the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome to Hard Facts on 90.3 Nigeria Info in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. It's 14 minutes gone past 3 p.m. and did I mention that I'm Dio? Well, I am. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the show. It's August. Yeah, it's August. It's August 17, 2021. It's a great day to be here. And it's a fine day nonetheless, in spite of the rains. As I walked in here earlier, it was raining, not so heavy though, but you know how the rains can pretty much dampen everything. But I hope it hasn't dampened your day in spite of everything else that you've got to deal with. Yeah, it's pretty tough these days, and then the rains are there. They are a necessity, you know. Yes, everything gets wet and dampened somewhat, but they are a necessity. The rains, that is. So brace up for them. After all, we are in River State, and we are, in a manner of speaking, in the rainy season, so expect a lot of that. And if you're on the roads regularly or not so regularly, do watch out, take extra precautions, because the rains rather make the roads extra slippery, or a lot more slippery, and as it gets dark pretty fast and quickly. So obey traffic rules and regulations. Pedestrians also watch out. And don't go about, motorists, don't go about spraying water on pedestrians. And lots of puddles everywhere, with the gullies and the potholes riddling the entire space. But let's all just take it easy, okay? And ensure we all get to our destinations in one piece, with our clothes looking as neatly as we left home. Welcome once again. From now till about 7, we keep the conversation going. Several matters we're going to be discussing on the show today, and we'll be attending to them one at a time. If you've got front row seats, then you're welcome to join the conversation at any time that I say so, using the approved platforms, of course. Let's see. On the show today, side comments coming up in a moment, random stories, random thoughts of mine on these random stories, and I'll take your thoughts on my thoughts all the way till 4 p.m. yesterday. Now, after today's side comments, there's a rant coming up. I'm expressing my thoughts on one particular issue, and I'll take your thoughts on mine till 4. A reminder, by the way, that the side comments will not be discussed at this time until possibly much later on during the open season segment, when I'll be, I'll take your thoughts on matters discussed on the show that you may have missed out on, or other matters mentioned by myself, like the side comment, for example. And in case you have not observed, I am somewhat distracted at the moment. I can't talk about what's causing my distraction, but there is something quite distracting me. Anyways, So, welcome once again. I'll try to concentrate on the job at hand right now. So, I think I've discussed, given you a framework of sorts for today's conversation. So how about some nitty-gritty, somewhat of the matters? Today's rant, as usual, takes us to 4. We've got business news at 4 p.m. After that, the PIB is now the PIA. And I know it might take some getting used to. I mean, for years, the expression PIB or the acronym PIB was used consistently. So it might take a while for you to get used to the new expression, the new acronym in town. Yep, give it up for my main man, PIA. Yeah, because the Petroleum Industry Bill has undergone a transmutation, a metamorphosis, if you will. What's that thing that viruses do? Can someone help me with that? Kind of like a transformation, like a metamorphosis. Viruses do something. What's that they do? Help me out via WhatsApp. Number is 0809-030-64161. When viruses undergo some kind of a change, it's still a virus. No, not evolve. Someone said evolve, not evolve. That's not the word. Actually, I've got the word right now. It's now in my head. Mutate, that's it, correct. I wish I had some cash to give out to this person. Mutation, yeah, that's the word. So, the PIB has undergone a mutation. Yeah, it's like a mutant, like an X-Man, or something like that. So, it's now the PIA, yeah, the Petroleum Industry Act, yep, because Mr. President, give it up for Buhari as well, or not, depending on perspective. He signed it into law. And now it's no longer a bill, it's now an act of parliament, so it's now a law. So, back to the latest act in town, PIA. How far will the PIA help to reform the oil and gas industry in Nigeria? We'll look at that in the 4 o'clock hour. Buhari signs PIB, ignores concerns over 3% host communities fund. Is it all bad as far as the PIA is concerned, or are there positives to it? Maybe there are negatives as well. We'll discuss this matter in the 4 o'clock hour, and joining me for that conversation is Dr. Peter Mede, River State Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources. He'll be my guest in the 4 o'clock hour after the business news. That takes us to 4. At 5 we've got the news update coming up. Yes, we do. And, lots of news over here. After that, the future of Nigerian media. Aha. What does the future hold? What does the future pretend? And these and other matters related to the media, and what plans and efforts are being made to guarantee that future, to ensure that we have brilliant persons, well equipped and trained as well, to marshal, to hold the fort, if you will, as far as the media in Nigeria is concerned. We'll discuss that in the 5 o'clock hour, after the news update. I'll be joined by a friend of mine, Sammy Iwejiyan, who's coordinator at the Next Media Star, and of course someone who's taking part in that program as well, Edna Utibe. Both of them will be my guests in the 5 o'clock hour after the news update. Headlines 5:30 p.m. and we've got the major news at 6. After that, open season comes up. We'll discuss whatever thoughts you may have, matters discussed on the show today till about 7 o'clock when we wrap it up. So that's the show today. The sports gang will be in by 7 for extra time, bringing you all the action from the world of sports. And yes, oh yes, the major leagues are back. Goodness gracious, can't believe they were off for so long. And the big game today is the German Super Cup, I believe that it is. Yep, kickoff time is 7:30 p.m. John Sports Gang, as they bring you analysis and all the updates. I think the transfer window is still open. I think it is. Yep. So who's still buying who's going where, and how might the German Cup play out tonight? All the action with the Sports Gang from 7 o'clock. So that's the show for today, and the changes you will find out simply stay tuned. So, setting the ball or keeping it rolling right now with today's side comments. Remember, they are random stories and random thoughts of mine which will not be discussed at this time. So earlier on today, you may have caught His Excellency the Governor of River State on a live television interview. That was this morning. He had quite a lot of things to say. understandably, not unusual, really. The governor usually has a lot to say. Had a bit to say about, the internal workings of the PDP at the moment. I don't know, not really concerned about that, I do confess, personally that is. Anyways, he said the current National Working Committee of the PDP does not have the ability to lead the party to victory in 2023. Quite remarkable, considering it does appear the governor may have played a crucial role in installing that National Working Committee. But you know what they say? I think in politics, no permanent friends, no permanent foes, only permanent interests, I suppose. Well, it'll be interesting to see how these interests play out within the PDP as 2023 approaches. Had a bit to say as well about the use of electronic voting or electronic transmission of election results. Let's hear once again what the governor had to say about that, his thoughts. We had very strong opinions about that, as I do perceive many, if not most, Nigerians do. But here's a bit of the governor's thoughts on that.
If Mr. President says one legacy I will leave is to conduct a free and fair, and the first step of that to show that you want to conduct a transparent election is let the result be transmitted electronically, and then your party overwhelmingly voted against it. What does it imply? You need to tell me that Mr. President is not aware. To the point that where the chairman of INEC, who recommended this electronic transmission of results, voted against that made this recommendation. I went to the floor, I voted against what I recommended.
Well, like I said a while ago, permanent interest, that's all that matters. But I do concede, I do agree with the governor on this. It is disconcerting, really, that the National Assembly would, or at least the Senate particularly, or we might even say the ruling party, the APC, because APC National Assembly members, almost generally, if not exclusively, or entirely, voted against the use of electronic voting, especially in the Senate, and one wonders why that would be the case. You know, I believe, and I agree with the governor, that every step, every effort should be made at improving the electoral system right now. I mean, don't mind that the PDP itself may have contributed to the dastardly electoral process we have in the country, but well, let bygones be bygones, I suppose. But we should do everything possible right now to ensure that we can improve the electoral system, and definitely electronic transmission of results is one way to go, one way that will improve the system, and we should be looking in that direction, I believe. Great news, by the way, to the well-meaning people of Rivers State. Yep, the good people of Rivers State, because Governor Yesemweke has assured that Rumola GRA Junction flyovers, as well as a dual carriageway on the Izimbu and Tumbia Road extension in Port Harcourt, will be completed by the end of September. Hear, 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 hear. Now, Governor Wike gave the assurance shortly after inspecting some ongoing projects in the state. Let's hear what His Excellency had to say about this piece of fantastic news. Where is that? Oh, here we are.
I don't know why in this country we believe in lawlessness. Somebody wakes up in the morning without even preparing where he wants his office to be. He private motorbike. So you see, everywhere is motorbike. Everywhere is motorbike. That cannot be allowed. We must also have the area designated for motorbikes. Not on the road, you see motorbikes, without control. Look at how they litter all the refuse on the road, and then they expect government to come and clean it up. That is not the way it's supposed to be. So I have council, if at all they have any approval of such motorbikes existent in these areas. The Port Harcourt must come back to what it used to be. We can't be spending this huge amount of money, and then people will be sitting somewhere to mess us up. We will not allow that.
Sounds good, Your Excellency, but Your Excellency, sir, if you will, where exactly are the motor parks? We don't want them parking indiscriminately on the roads. Obviously we don't, that's a bad thing. It's bad, yeah. We don't want them just converting any available space to motor parks. You're very right, Your Excellency, so that's wrong. We must do something about that. But if you don't mind, if I may ask, where exactly are the motor parks that they're supposed to park in? You know, where are the bus stops? You know, where the buses are supposed to stop, if not on the roads. You know, so If we expect people to conform or comport themselves in certain ways, then government must ensure that there is infrastructure available for them to do this. And not just that we build something, we must ensure that it's infrastructure that is easily accessible and affordable. If people have to pay to access it, it must be affordable. And they must be able to access it easily as well. It's very important. And the matter of refuse, Your Excellency, has Your Excellency passed by the East-West Road here recently? Your Excellency, we have tons of refuse on the median here. You know, almost every few meters, you just got refuse everywhere, Your Excellency. It's a refuse galore right now. And the question once again is, what systems, what processes, you know, what strategies have been put in place by the government to ensure refuse or waste is collected and managed properly? What is it? What is the system? I mean, it's good to sound all high, you know, and lofty about the whole thing, but sounding high and lofty doesn't fix problems, right? It's getting down and dirty, you know, hitting the ground, literally speaking, not Nigerian political leaders speaking, you know, but literally speaking, hitting the ground, you know, and getting dirty and figuring out solutions to these problems is what gets it solved. So let's put on our thinking caps, and I'm sure we can figure out a way to properly manage waste in not just in Port Harcourt but in Rivers State, and not just talking about when we have camera crews and midgets being thrust in our faces by newsmen. Let's see, what else caught my attention on the news today? Let's see. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle has promised to secure the release of staff and students who were abducted by gunmen on Sunday night in the state. In a statement by his spokesman, Yusuf Grisau, on Monday, he condemned the attack on the College of Agriculture at Animal Science, where 15 students and 4 staff of the institution were kidnapped. By the way, I think about 3 or 4 security personnel were killed as well, including a police officer. That's very sad. It's also sad that these students have been kidnapped and by so-called bandits, as they call them these days, and I can only hope that they are released or rescued, whatever it is, or bottom line, reunited with their family members and loved ones, and as soon as possible. And I can also hope, I do very much hope, that our leaders finally get a grasp of things, you know, finally get a grasp of things, finally understand what they're doing, why they're elected into office, if they were elected into office, you know, and start to understand the purpose of leadership and government's primary responsibility to citizens, protection of lives and property. I hope they finally come to terms with that someday and begin to do their jobs. But Nigerians, you must understand as well that you have a role to play to ensure that actualization, and I do hope you play your role. I hope I'm able to play mine as well. So, what else is it that caught my attention today? Let's see. Yeah, some rights groups in Rivers State have commended the management of Rivers State College of Health Science and Management Technology for making public the investigation on the alleged rape case against the male lecturer principal, Chika Kobe. Recall that the provost of the college, Professor Franklin Ilerum, said a panel set up to investigate the case could not establish rape, but sexual harassment against Dr. Chika Kobe of the Department of Dental Surgery Technician. In a statement jointly signed by Anke Alexander of Center for Basic Rights Protection and Accountability Campaign and Jane James of Legal Care Advocacy Foundation, said the sanction against the suspended lecturer will serve as a deterrent to others who may have the desire to engage in sexual violence, or I think the damn good should be sexual harassment, well, or violence. And that's a good thing. That is a good thing, you know. So, and I hope that other randy lecturers over there and elsewhere as well will be found out and be dealt with appropriately. I think I talked about this briefly yesterday, and I talked about hoping that beyond the schools finding him or indicting him and meting out some punishment, I hope it doesn't end there. and that other state authorities, the police especially, will be informed of this, and they will take appropriate action. And I'm glad to read also from the news today, the statement added that the action of the institution will boost the morale of students to report cases of sexual harassment without fear. It will be recalled that the rights groups had found a formal complaint at the Human Rights Desk of River State Police Headquarters, Moscow Road, following a complaint by the mother of the female student, Mrs. Lemon Igbara, that the lecturer raped her daughter in his office 2 months ago. So I hope that the police, River State Police Command, gallant officers, under the able leadership of the versatile CP, Eboka Friday, the police in River State that always conducts investigation on a myriad of things, but we never hear the results of investigations. I hope this time around that something will actually be done about this, and we will get the results of this particular one, and hopefully nobody will get blood sugar in between. So I think that will be a wrap for today's side comment. I go on a break now. When I return, I've got a rant coming up. Do stay with us. Hard Facts continues shortly.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me. I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. You're trying to insinuate all these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info in the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
Our freedom depends on our proactive responsibilities.
Let's talk, act, and be about development.
With one voice, our potential is realized. This is your number one news, talk, and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am listening. The Premier League is back, and back with a bang, with fans returning to the stadium after a glamorous last season.
Here's Bruno Fernandes!
With 9 teams topping the league table at different points in the season. A season that Manchester City wrestled the title back from Liverpool.
And Manchester City are the champions!
A new season is here. Football is back with brilliant and better live commentaries, match updates, and top-notch analysis from the Sports Gang. Join us right here on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Together, let's unravel what the season presents.
We connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me. I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it. You're trying to insinuate all these people looting Nigeria's money?
This is Nigeria Info in the heart of Nigeria. 92.3. We are Nigeria Info.
Our freedom depends on our proactive responsibilities.
Let's talk, act, and be about development.
With one voice, our potential is realized. This is your number one news, talk, and sports radio station. 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am listening.
Are you running late and can't make it down to our Room OC office to book your commercials? Don't worry, because you can take advantage of our marketing office inside Port Harcourt to book your commercials. It is located at Shop 9 Mediatrix of All Graces Plaza, opposite FIRS Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. You can also call our sales rep on 0817-001-8162. That's 0817-001-8162.
connect you to the world. We connect you to the vicinity. We are Nigeria Info.
Listen to me. I said this is a real situation and the government has to do something about it.
In heart of Nigeria.
Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back. It is Hard Factor 91.3 Nigeria Info in Herrenport, Harcourt and Dial. 22 minutes ago before 4 p.m. I'd like to run for just a bit. I've got something in my mind. I've expressed some thoughts on it, and you're very welcome to express your thoughts and my thoughts all the way till 4 p.m. Yeah. Now, on today's rant, I'd like to tell a story. And I'm excited, actually. Kind of reminds me of Tales by Moonlight from back in the day. And it reminds me of Storyland as well, that was hosted by Uncle Jimmy Sholanke back in the day also. And I think there was one other one, don't quite remember right now. But yeah, I'd like to tell a story. So gather round, everyone, and listen to the tale or the story that I bring you this wonderful, wet, is it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday afternoon. Story. Now, there was an institution, an ivory tower, an institution of higher learning in River State, referred to as the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. Now, this institution did something that confounded a lot of people. This institution of higher learning did something that was unprecedented, that surprised a lot of people. It was so shocking and quite alarming and quite different as well that it made it onto the news bulletin of one media house called 92.3 Nigeria Info. Now, I will read from that news item that Nigeria Info broadcast on some time ago. And here is that story once again, or that news item. Some students of the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education who were recently awarded first-class honors were made to write a test to prove their merit per first-class status. Some of the students spoke to our correspondent just before the exam started on Thursday. Now, do note, this was some weeks ago, maybe just about a week or two ago. Here is what the students had to say back then.
If you say you don't trust us, we do not give ourselves the score.
My department brought our names 2 days ago. If I was to be in another state or maybe even out of the country, how would I have come back?
How are we going to defend a result in 30 minutes for a result that was accumulated over the years?
Why don't they verify those that are in second class that are supposed to come down to third class?
How about those persons that won't be able to meet up the score they want for today? What would they do about them?
We don't know the index of measuring.
For the RMS to be so porous to allow students to get access to it, that makes the results management system totally unuseful.
I think they are having a lot of students coming at the same grade level.
If we are to read everything we do, we're going to read like 80 courses. So the problem is that they didn't narrow it down for us. But then I feel like it's actually a pathway to progress.
Like I said, this was unprecedented. It was so shocking. Everyone was concerned. What is going on at the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education? The king at that time summoned all the wise men of the land and asked the question, what is going on at the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education? Now, some of the students were also questioned further still as to what their thoughts were. And especially after writing this 45 minutes or so test, some of them had some other things to say.
We saw a lot of questions that we really reasoned a lot to answer them. I must say this, it's not really worth it. I don't see a position where this particular exam we wrote to be used to determine a 4-year struggle of an individual.
Do you know that I went and read on year 1 of my profession? Do you know that what I saw there was something else? As I'm talking, I'm bleeding inside my heart. For my 5 years, 4 years was COVID-19. Some person did not even write. Computer science department, they uploaded their decision on Saturday, and the ones that came after class did not write. One woman just came with her baby. 2 minutes to the exam, they just gave her paper and she did not even write anything.
Oh my, the students were flabbergasted. The students were overwhelmed and wondered why after 4 years or more in school they would have to write another test. to show that they merited the degrees that the university had conferred or was to confer on them. As you may know, the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education decided that a 2021 graduating student with a cumulative grade point average of 4.5 and above take what they called a qualifying test. Due to concerns that certain factors may have influenced the first-class degrees obtained by the students. And so the people far and near, all over the lands, wondered what's going on, and questions were asked of the management of Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. And they responded, and they said that they have questions, they have concerns about the scores of these students. The response of Ignatius Ajuru University of Education was that they don't understand when their students go out for NYC at the orientation camp. The NYC told them that their students are dull, that their students do not act like they merit the results that the school gives to them. And so the school's management thought within themselves, what can we do? They huddled together, called emergency meetings, and they asked themselves, what shall we do to salvage this situation? Alas, they came up with an idea. Yes, we shall conduct a special test for every student who claims to have a first-class degree. Every student who we are supposed to give a first-class degree to, we shall conduct a test. Yay, we shall conduct a test for them. And the whole world marveled at this decision taken by the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, because never had anything like that been seen before anywhere. And so time went on, and everybody wondered what this was about, and people questioned and queried if the management was on the right track, and people wondered and pondered and mused as to if there was nothing that the institution could have done better against an attempt to punish students, thereby ridiculing themselves inevitably. And then something happened. On a regular day, when the whole world woke up, nothing seemed different. The sky was the same. It rained a little bit. Everything seemed normal. The River State governor was on TV again. No surprises there. And everything seemed it was going to be business as usual. But something different happened. Something totally unexpected. The Ignatius Ajuru University of Education was not done shocking the whole world. As on that news station once again, a news item shocked everyone. The Ignatius Ajuru University of Education Staff Disciplinary Committee has suspended Mr. Godwin Olai of the Department of Management from duty for 1 year without pay. Now, the school said Mr. Olai was found guilty of demanding the sum of 700,000 naira from one of his undergraduate supervisees to help the student write, type and bind his project. In a statement released on social media, In a statement released on social media by the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Ozo Mekirin Dimile, he said the school acted on an audio recording which alleged that Mr. Gordon Olai asked some final year students from his department to pay 700,000 naira each so that he could personally write, type, and bind their project without any input from them, with the exception of their dedication page and acknowledgements. And the whole world was shocked once again at this piece of information coming out from the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. It suddenly became clear to everyone. And the whole world went, alas, from far and near. So this is why the school itself is doubting the degrees it was going to award to its students. Alas, lecturers are collecting or demanding 700,000 naira to write projects for their students, and all you need is your dedication page. And who knows, if you add an extra 50,000 naira, the lecture page for you, if you have another extra 50,000 naira, he might write your acknowledgement. If you have an extra 20,000 naira, he might even write your name on your behalf, allegedly. Wow. And the world was shocked and surprised and said, no wonder, no wonder. But still, the people, wise men from everywhere, amongst themselves whispered and muttered and murmured, maybe this is what the school should have done in the first place, to weed out lecturers collecting 700,000 naira, and who knows what else they're collecting and for what purposes. Maybe this is what the management of Ignatius Ajuru University of Education should have done in the first place, and not punish students for lecturers' 700,000 naira collection at the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education. Children, that is the story for today. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. I hope I didn't bore you. Did you learn any lesson from today's story? If you learned any, what is the moral of today's story? Let's hear it. Call my numbers. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. Keep it brief, straight to the point. WhatsApp is on 0809 0306416. A reminder, we are live on facebook.com /Nigeria Info PH. Yep, and you have the numbers once again. Via WhatsApp, Patrick from Rubicon goes, okay, I'll come to that later. Let's take a call right now. I got Tony in the line. Hello, Tony, welcome. Go on. Hello, Tony.
The school has to be closed.
Alright, Tony. Patrick once again goes, good afternoon. Please, are you aware that the carryover student of Ignatius Ajuru University are made to pay between 47k as course registration fee to lecturers, whose courses they failed in order to be eligible to rewrite the course? My younger one, who's currently in her 300 level, confirmed this extortion to me. Failure to pay will amount to missing scripts. The most worrisome is the fact the initial course registration is done by the faculty offices, and various heads of departments are aware of this fraud. If you doubt, please put it out. Let students call and confirm it to you. How can such a system guarantee quality education? That's from Patrick. I go David from D-Line. David, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, David.
Hi, go ahead, David.
I think the lesson I learned is that authorities between the people rather than the people. And it's unfortunate that this is happening. First of all, we cannot be greater than the students or institution any level they are. And this just shows the greed of National University has something. Because if we don't look at those lecturers who are actually making the system as corrupt and seamlessly scattered, they will not have good products. These students are just products of a bad system. Let's correct the system that we should have more of these very persons. Rather than reviewing the grade of students, what stops you from reviewing the marking scheme? Asking for the marking scheme of the lecturers, and then we look at what is the answer script of the students.
Yeah.
Why call them to sit for a 45-minute exam to prove 5 years or 4 years of endless study? It's really non-prioritization of what the management ought to do. Yes. Make sure you review the tutor than the tutor.
David, great to hear from you. Wisdom from GRA High, go ahead.
All right, there.
Yeah.
It is most unfortunate that our Nigerian university has deteriorated to an extent. What one is hearing about Professor Ajuru University, a situation where, the process of compiling results in the university system has a lot of stages. After the manuscripts, you send to department, faculty approval, senate approval. After that has been done, for those universities to tell us that they don't have confidence on the first class they've given to their students and coming to subject them to another test. They simply tell that university is not qualified to be called in. Then a lecturer expecting a student to the tune of 700,000 for a project. Right?
In the same school, by the way.
700,000 of Nigerian money. So what kind of corruption is eating deep into that?
Binding is expensive these days. Dollar has gone up. No, dollar has gone up.
What does it take to gather a student writing? What does it take for a student to go and gather material? A plus transport, how much are they even charging that typing?
Wisdom is dollar. Dollar has gone up.
Let's say you are traveling to even Lagos or outside the state to get certain information and material. There one cannot spend more than 200,000 to get the project done. So that's the lecturer is a criminal there, and he should be dealt with. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, Charles, go ahead.
It's quite laughable that the man will be running suspension without pay. Who is going to verify that in the very first place? But the truth is this: the educational system in Rivers State, what you heard now was just because he was a victim of a process that revealed him today. But that is the standard. That is the standard for most universities around this region. Everything in the university is monetized. And it's a high-level conspiracy, right from the management of the university to the students. I'll give you an example, Dayo. 2 years ago, I met a girl from that same university who said that she needed 70,000 naira just to give a stipend to her supervisor. That thank you money for supervising. So thank you money for supervising 70,000. And I said, okay, what's the name of a supervisor? Between yesterday and today, I've been asking her that she never told me the name of that supervisor. Because she's also afraid that if it is being revealed, she's going to be victimized. So it's the standard. If it's out, open the phone line. Tell students to fall in, tell graduates to fall in. Across USC, Uniform, this Poly, Elusakin Polytechnic, and all the institutions in the United States, that is the standard for most graduates. Thank you, Charles Obupoko.
All right, Charles. Let's see what's happening via Facebook, via WhatsApp as well. Let's see, via WhatsApp. Moral of the story, put your house in order and stop wasting people's valuable time. Peter from Zorba. Mafia de Lagos. The moral lesson I gleaned is that we should learn to tackle issues from the root and not from the fruits. Hello, Dara. The moral of the story is that there's a fundamental rottenness that needs to be cleared before asking graduates to come for an examination. Toasting from Rumola. IAUE is a monumental embarrassment to what is globally called ivory towers. It needs to be ashamed of its recruitment process. Its ethics and moral compass is corrosive and dangerously intoxicating. What a disgrace to intellectual community. Sad, really sad. The moral of the story is that lecturers should stop collecting bribes from students. Why not plead with the government to increase their salaries than the reverse? That's Chase from PH. Grandpa, I learned that extortion is not good, especially such outrageous amount for school project. The last time I checked, it's not Wicket's flyover project. That's Kingso from Roman Duro. Alright. You're the best storyteller in Nigeria. Appreciate and applaud your brilliance, Dio. Thank you very much. Good evening, Dio. My position in the first class qualifying exam is if a board of authority in a system question the credibility of her system, then the entire system is of questionable competence. My question is, what exam would they give to the third class lower grade graduates? Toby St. Tobin's from Umakuta send that. Very good question, really. Dio, yes sir, the moral lesson I learned is that I should be scared of such institution and not even near the gate, I'm afraid. Good evening, Dio. It's sad, very sad, not just the university, all universities in Nigeria are acting the same. The virus is crawling to secondary schools and primary schools. Good afternoon, Dio. While you were ranting, God spoke to me that Ajuru University lecturers need academic deliverance. Ubong from Muji said that in. Alright. Now, asking a student of IAUE who had concluded their course of study to sit for a post-conclusion exam to ascertain or verify that they really made it to the first class is an indication that the university authorities don't trust the system they run. Shame on our failed system of education. Cheese Light from Rimo Krushi Pipeline said that. The porous nature of educational system in Nigeria is alarming. It's happening in other institutions, even the VC is aware too. What happens to others from some institutions, or same institutions, to have first class before that? Would they be recalled to rewrite the exams too? Injustice everywhere. From the VC to non-academic staff should be sacked. Kamfo Obina from Shabon Gida in Edo State sent that in. All right, I have to wrap this up at this time, but Imat Magic on WhatsApp goes, good afternoon. That university's accreditation needs to be recalled. This is a disgrace. That's from Imat Magic. And it does raise fundamental questions, really, about what goes on within that institution. And this is the same institution, a couple of weeks ago, about a week or two ago, asked students to write another examination or some test to prove that they merited the first class degrees that they were to be awarded. And now, about a week or two afterwards, this very unfortunate. So this explains it, really. This explains why the institution doubts that the first class graduates or the potential first class graduates merits the degrees that they were going to bag. It's extremely sad. But as a moral to the story, as I requested earlier, and thanks to those who sent in what they learned from it, Nigerian institutions of higher learning should maintain high standards. You can't be called as an institution of higher learning if what you produce can't even write an application letter. Then what kind of learning is going on there, let alone higher learning? If you have the obscenities that take place in these so-called ivory towers that have become monumental embarrassments, really, if you ask me, monumental embarrassments, and it's extremely unfortunate indeed. And I do hope that the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education is looked into. Yes, our concerns happen in many other places, but we can look at Ignatius and start from there, I suppose. It's 4 p.m. right now. Break for the business news. Discussions continue afterwards. Please stay with us.
Keeping up with political issues and